I graduated from LSU, let's see, 8 months ago. I've been working for a renewables company for 7 months now. I'm a mechanical field engineer, and we build solar projects all over the country. Right now, I'm in southern Texas. Recently, I passed my professional engineering license exam, and right now, I'm just enjoying life, going through my career and building myself up. 5 million times we played soccer. The entire time I was there is one that always comes to mind because there's really no other place that I can do that. In Louisiana or Texas, no one plays soccer, so that's always one that I fall back on. And then aventuras were incredible. Meet great people, see amazing sights, and do work that feels fulfilling. It's kind of hard to say what exactly I've picked up, because I think while I was there, a lot of stuff was just ingrained into me. And now it's kind of been so long that it's hard to tell what was ingrained, but I can tell 100 times over, and so can my parents and people around me, that I'm much better off afterwards than I was before. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. I think honestly my parents would probably be able to pinpoint it easier than I can, but it's just everything that was taught there were bits and pieces that were ingrained into me that just stayed for that whole time, and I've had it to this day.
Would you be perhaps just stop before and after real quick, like, before I went on that journey, this was kind of what was going on, but then after this is...
Yeah. So before then, I would skip classes because I would be too anxious to even walk in. If I was thinking I would maybe be on time or a little bit late, I would just be too anxious to walk in. Nowadays, I will walk into anything 30 minutes late and be like, sorry, my bad, and just take the consequences and keep going, because at the end of the day, if you get there late, you're still there. It's better than not going at all. You definitely have to be close with someone or a group of people. For me, it's family and a couple friends. I know not everyone's lucky enough to be able to be that close with their family, but even if you have to repair some bridges to get that family back in the life, it's always important to have someone there, someone you can talk to, someone you can fall back on, and people just to support you, because at the end of the day, if I'm shooting for all my goals, it doesn't feel nearly as good if I don't have anyone in my corner. An important thing about that support structure is you can't really elevate yourself if your support structure is not elevated as well. You've got to support your support structure. You've got to give more than you take, in my opinion. And that's one of the easiest ways to feel good about myself, is employees or coworkers or people I was at school with, not just looking at what can I do to benefit myself, but what can I do to benefit them as well. And a lot of the times, if I'm doing something to benefit myself, I will do it in a way that benefits other people as well.
Formula.
Yeah, you've got to find something that'll take you away from everything. You can't just do the same things every day and expect something to change, because something has to be done different in order to change. And it could be picking up a new hobby or even doing things in a different order. If you change up your normal, something will change. Sometimes it might not be for the better, but you just got to keep trying different things until something works. There's a difference between doing the best you can right now and doing your absolute best. I would consider doing your absolute best as if you're like in a very good spot in your life and you can do anything under the sun. But I think people try to focus too much on that instead of focusing on doing the best they can in the moment. Because if you're in a rut, your best is not close to what your true capabilities are. But you can't sit there and compare it to your true capabilities. You just have to do your best and work towards getting back to where you were. I think it's a mix of the culture and the community that's built around it. I think the Costa Rican culture is a very nurturing place, and it's kind of like the perfect environment to go through a transition from someone who is struggling to someone that is successful and content with, their life. You don't have a lot of unwelcoming qualities in Costa Rica as much as you would in other places. I mean, I can't speak for other places other than the US, and the US isn't a very good place to do it.
And is that because when you're trying to make some changes, it's just kind of, I don't know, sloppy, and you're kind of insecure, and so it's better to be in a place that feels nurturing and welcoming?
Yeah, because I mean, when you're trying something new, you're not going to be perfect at it. And if you're in a fast-paced environment, which is another benefit of Costa Rica being slow-paced, if you're in a fast-paced environment, people will not wait for you to figure that out. It's more like you figure it out or you're left behind. Where it's Costa Rica, it's slow-paced enough to where you can experiment and not be left behind.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. What else? You said the community?
Yeah, the community just at the bridge. It kind of ties in with that Costa Rican culture because everyone picks it up. And it kind of builds upon itself while you're in the house. And they kind of just work very well hand in hand. Because you'll have that experience outside of the house, but then when you get home from internship classes, whatever, you still have that culture in the house. It's not like it is very American compared to the rest of Costa Rica, but it still is slow paced and very nurturing and welcoming. You and everyone else that worked there being very relatable and patient and helpful was a huge thing as well. Because you can't do it without you guys. I mean, you have a rotation of what people are doing. I can't remember if it was like a daily rotation or a weekly rotation. Maybe it was a mix of both. But let's just take cooking for instance. Obviously, you want your peers to be able to cook well, so you're not just eating garbage. So that's one example of how, if you know how to cook, maybe help the other person learn how to cook, or encourage them to look into it themselves if they don't want to accept like actual physical help. Another ways is just, all of those rotational chores or tasks, all of them have to be done for everything to, be clean and look nice and feel nice, and you want a clean house to feel good. Those are just simple examples, and you could even go more in depth where aventuras, if someone's planning it, you want them to succeed because you want a successful trip. You want to have a high impact on the community you're going to, and you just want to be able to take a lot out of that. You can't do that if your peers aren't performing to their best. And if you can help them perform even a little bit better, that's great.
Yeah. I guess if, you know, I could say this directly to whoever's watching. If you're finding yourself in the opportunity of being at the Bridge, you should cherish it, because once it's gone, you're going to wish you had it back. When you think about it, when you're leaving the Bridge, when you're graduating, you're in a good spot in your life, and you're able to recognize that you can get more out of that experience. But the entire time leading up to that, you were not able to. So it's unfair to tell yourself, oh, I should have done this better. Well, you graduated, you got to the end, and you are better. So do what you can moving forward, improve your life moving forward. Don't sit there and think, oh, I could have done this different, I could have done this different. Be proud that you can do different now, is what I would think.